My boyfriend lied about being a lawyer, then I caught him working at Subway. I have trust issues as it is, and there's nothing wrong with being a lawyer, or not being one. It's just the fact that he lied about it, and now, I feel like I can't trust him about anything. I've always wanted someone who was honest, had a good job, not because I wanted to leech off them, but because it's a difficult economy out there. So, when I met my boyfriend, he seemed perfect. After dating for what felt like forever and getting nothing but disappointments, I finally found someone worth holding on to. I met him on Hinge, and our first date was incredible. We didn't hook up or anything, but he was such a romantic. We grabbed coffee, wandered around the city, and just talked. It felt like everything I'd been waiting for in a relationship. From there, things blossomed. We texted all the time, and even though it was hard for us to meet up frequently, it didn't bother me. I had a demanding job, and so did he, or so I thought. Every time we did get together, he was sweet, thoughtful, and incredibly attentive. He learned all my favorite things, remembered my quirks, and always made sure I was comfortable. One time I was sick, and he dropped off medicine and Gatorade at my door without even asking to come inside. Honestly, it felt like a dream. Plus, we had similar lifestyles. Neither of us was the out all night at the club type, so we clicked in that way. And when we were together, the chemistry was off the charts. The intimacy? Amazing. Slowly, I started to feel happier, more settled. But there was always one thing that bothered me. He was evasive, especially when it came to money. He always suggested we stay in and never really wanted to go out to eat. I thought maybe he was just really good at saving, or that he knew how expensive the city could be. After all, I'd mentioned I liked eating at home, so I figured he was just being considerate. But still, something felt off. I've always been the type to believe that everyone's job is valuable. Whether you work in an office or at a fast food place, every job matters. I'm not one to judge people for where they work, but I do have a problem with people lying about their job. It's one thing to feel embarrassed or want to stretch the truth, but to completely fabricate a career? That's a red flag. And that's what I found out he'd been doing. It happened out of nowhere. I was on my way to work and decided to stop into a Subway for a quick bite. And there he was, behind the counter, making sandwiches. We locked eyes, and I didn't say a word. I just ordered my food, paid, and left. It was like the world had shifted. I went home, utterly devastated. I tried calling him afterward, but he wouldn't pick up. My mind raced with a million questions, but none of them were being answered. I broke down at my best friend's apartment, telling her everything. It wasn't about the money. It never was. I loved him for who I thought he was, but now I didn't even know who that was anymore. The worst part was the lying. Why would he lie to me about something so important? I couldn't wrap my head around it. I tried texting him, but nothing went through. I waited outside his apartment for hours, but he never came home. It was like he was avoiding me altogether. The next day, I went back to Subway. When I walked in, his face said it all. He was stunned. He tried to brush me off, saying he was at work and couldn't talk, but I wasn't leaving without answers. The line behind me started to grow, but I didn't care. I told him I didn't care where he worked. I just wanted to understand why he lied. After the line finally cleared out, I asked him to meet me later so we could talk without a barrier between us. When we sat down, he finally came clean. He told me he was saving up for law school and had started telling people he was already a lawyer because he wanted to believe it himself. He said he was working at Subway to save money in the meantime, and he'd lied because he was scared I would leave him if I knew the truth. Here's the thing. I wasn't mad about his job. I was heartbroken that he didn't trust me enough to be honest. And even though he was confessing now, the damage was done. In my head, I wanted to forgive him, but how could I ever trust him again? What else had he lied about? What else was he capable of hiding? He said he understood why I was upset, but he didn't want to lose me. As I explained that I just needed time to process everything, he started getting defensive. He accused me of being a gold digger, claiming I only cared about his money and status, which was the furthest thing from the truth. I'd never cared about his job. I cared about him, but seeing him twist the narrative like that, showing me his true colors, made it clear where we stood. Right now, we're on a break, but I'm seriously thinking about ending things. I can't shake the feeling that I'll never be able to trust him again, no matter how much he apologizes. And now, part of me is questioning whether I am overreacting. Maybe he's right. Maybe I am a gold digger, and I just never realized it. What do you think? Am I wrong to want to leave, or is this a red flag I can't ignore?